Yes. Let's wait for some people to come in. I should have sent the email out. But I'm not even. What time is it in the States? Early?
6 a.m. in Colorado.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
8 a.m. in New York.
Oh, okay. So people was up.
You might be.
All right, all right, all right. Yeah. Hello, someone. It's interesting because I can't see who's on here. I am on the vertical one. It's my first time going vertically live. So this is new for TT. I'm TT, by the way. This is new for me, guys. Damani, hi. Whoa. Hi, Damini. I said Damani, sorry. Hi, Damini, how are you? Thank you for being here. How is your day going? Hello, peoples. Welcome in. Welcome in. Come vibe out with your girl and Samaya. Vibe out with us. Us. With us. How's everyone doing? It is currently nighttime for me here. So Samia is my daughter. It's currently nighttime here. What time is it? Where is everyone located and what time is it where you guys are? Oh, thank you, thank you. I am. I'm having a wonderful day. Today has been an amazing day of sensations. Just allowing the sensations. Samaya, you gotta be kidding me. It's not funny. You don't need to yell. Everybody knows you're here. They know you're here. Nice. Hi. Okay, yeah. I'm currently in Malaysia. It's 8:09 here. So I love that. At first I was like, oh, I don't want to go live this late because it's super early for people in the States. Oh, it's 7:09. Hi, P. Hi, P. Michelle. How are you? Hi, the cat master. Hello. So yeah, today has been an amazing day of sensations. Not all great sensations either. I actually wrote, yo, don't do that. Hi, Clint. Hi, Maverick. Woke nose ring is woke. I don't know what that means. I wrote a piece. Whoa, why are you hitting me? Are you kidding me? She thinks it's so funny. And why are you sitting up there? Insane. You are insane. No, I'm just kidding. I wrote a piece today because I was so heightened, like so hyper aware, and I'm like, oh my God. And there was just like so much feeling going on. Hi. Oh, P. Michelle, you say you're manifesting Malaysia. Yes, it's beautiful for a family. So we were in the main city and we were close to the main city, Kuala Lumpur. Now we are in Malacca, which is like local Malaysia, historical Malaysia. It's not touristy at all, but it's a lot of families here. So it's better for us with a 1-year-old. That's just something I would recommend to anyone moving across the country with kids, is to move to like more of a suburb, not so much inland because it's busy. And they also don't have very nice stroller pathways. Like I like to go for walks with my daughter and just nowhere actually. Here especially, they don't have they don't have sidewalks. So that's difficult. But yeah, I want to talk about be, do, have, because that is how things begin to change for you, is to be, do, have. Ooh, okay, question. Yay. I love questions. Please send me questions, because if not, I'm just going to go on a tangent and start talking, okay? Any tips for manifesting a trip when I affirm that I'm there, it feels fake? Because physically, I'm not there. Be, do, have. So that is the tip that I would give you. What would it feel like to be there? Like you say, you affirm that you're there, but it feels fake because physically you're not there, because you're not being the version of yourself who's there. The version of yourself who is there would not, I wouldn't even say feel relaxed, but there would just be this confidence, or maybe not confidence, but I honestly no, scratch all that. This is because this is what I was going to say about the be do have. The be is just simply accepting it. So when you say that you affirm that you're there, it feels fake because physically you're not there. So the feeling is not the problem. It's the thought that you have associated to the feeling. So when you're telling yourself, I am there, and then it feels like you're not there, then all of a sudden you go into the story of, I'm lying to myself. It feels like I'm not there, da, da, da. And then you're very, like, do you feel like you're very attached to the story when it feels like you're not there? Like, what, if you feel comfortable, what are usually the thoughts that come up when you're saying that physically I'm not there? Because that's what's preventing you from like allowing it to manifest, is the attachment to the story of I'm not there, I'm not there. If you don't mind sharing. Because that's really what it is. Like when I'm saying be, it has nothing to do with the stories. Like I'm not encouraging you to tell new stories, to write new stories. I encourage you to do that in the state akin to sleep, right? In the state where the conscious mind is not as active. So in like the alpha state, in the theta state, these are the brainwave states where the conscious mind is not like being so defensive. When you tell yourself, I am something, and then the conscious mind goes, no, we're not, because here's the evidence of this, this, and this, right? The conscious mind is not as accepting of these new ideas, but when you are in these lower brainwave states, then that the front part of your brain is not as active. So when you are telling yourself, I am already where I, yes, beautiful, I am already traveling, right? I'm traveling. I'm actually already there. I'm in the inn, and it's so nice here. The weather is beautiful. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a great time. The conscious mind is not there to say, you're lying, because look at this and look at this. The subconscious can just accept it without the conscious mind interjecting, right? So that's what you do in the theta state and the alpha state. And you can enter that state through meditation, just getting yourself into a very relaxed state. Yes, the best time to do that is right when you wake up and right when you go to sleep. Those are prime time subconscious reprogramming states. Now, outside of that, the state that you are in most of the time when you are conscious, it's not about changing the thoughts. It's just about being. It's about allowing the thoughts to be whatever they are and remaining as you are. So when you're throughout your day and thoughts are saying, I'm lying to myself, I'm not really there, this isn't the truth, my reality isn't reflecting this to me, the goal or the mission, I should say, is to simply observe, like let the thoughts be. Don't try to fight them. Don't try to change them. If fighting happens, you witness it. But I'm sorry. I'm just going. Tori, if you're still here, share with me what's happening when you are saying that you're affirming, but it feels fake because physically you're not there. Like, talk to me about what does that actually mean? Understand or overstand? I'm not sure what that question means, if I'm being real with you. Whatever. I'm just going to let her do her for real. Y'all, we moved. So, I told you guys we were in KL, which is like the capital city. And now we are in Malacca, which is about 2 hours away from the main city. So we are in a new place. We're going to be here for a couple of months. So we're going to be here a bit more long term, which is nice. And it's much more space. The other space, it was not a lot of space at all. Subconscious equals submerged. The brain is in water. Ooh, I like that. The brain is in water, enclosed in darkness, yet you are seeing me. And the brain is telling you information about seeing me, even though it is enclosed in darkness. How does that work? Imagination. Imagination. So understand. Understand. Okay, I'm not really sure what the question is. If I'm being real with you, I feel like I'm fooling myself, but then I'm convinced because my imagination is what creates. Yeah, it's gonna feel like you're fooling yourself because there's still so much identification with the body, and the body is even if you tell yourself one thing, but then the body is feeling the opposite of, like, if you say, oh, I'm so abundant, but then you're feeling high anxiety, it's gonna feel like you're lying to yourself. It's gonna feel fake because you know how your body feels when you are in possession of something that you want. So it's like, well, I'm telling myself I want this thing, and I'm telling myself I have it, but my body is not feel like, I don't feel as if I have it. So that's why it doesn't feel real. But that's why it's important to learn how to sit with sensations without going into the story of what it means. Can we just allow ourselves to let the sensations be? Treat sensations like weather. Like the rain. When it rains outside, we don't go, the rain belongs to me. The rain just is. Can we allow our sensations to be just is? But what happens is the rain becomes a problem when the narrative, the story is, this is a problem. And even that's not a problem, right? If it's raining and then the mind goes, oh, this is a problem. This makes me so sad. I don't like rain. Even that's not a problem when you can just notice it. Even treat Samaya, please do not go in my shirt. Are you kidding me? Girl, thank you so much. I do that in a state when I'm about to fall asleep. The conscious mind brings up that I'm still in my hometown and it's annoying. It's like I am in a different country, but then it's like, no, you need money for this or this to go there. Yeah, that's exactly what it's gonna do, and that's why it's important to treat right before you about to fall asleep and right when you wake up. Like Neville says in his book, Feeling is the Secret. He says, you treat those states like a date, like just this very important event. You prepare for those states like they're so important. You're so welcome, Dominique. You prepare for those states. So, you use those states to reprogram the subconscious, and that's important, but it's even more important to learn how to not attach to every story the mind comes up with, to every story that is being fed to you. Even though your thoughts, it sounds like you, it's so convincing. It's like, no, this is me. I'm really thinking this. But if you start to notice, you're simply observing it. You're always observing your experience. Everything is coming and going in you. And when you start to treat the stories that you are telling yourself, like the rain, as something that's just appearing in your awareness, now all of a sudden it doesn't have the same grip. People are obsessed with their stories, with their narratives, because it feels grounding in this changeless reality. We know that change is inevitable, and that is scary because we require continuing. That's not the word. What is the word I'm looking for? We require, somebody tell me the word I'm looking for. Predictability. Let's go with predictability, right? We require predictability. We love time. But when things are constantly changing, it makes us feel like we don't have a grip on reality. And that's scary. So we tell stories to give us some type of grounding in this forever changing state. It's always changing, coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. It's always something. Even if you just sit in your home for a day, if you're honest, you're going to have to, even if you sit in one spot for a whole day and you don't move, there's still change happening apart from who you're taking yourself to be. Thoughts are coming and going. You're not controlling that. And I love to do this challenge with people right now. I just challenge you. Let's do it. Let's just do 15 seconds, all right? Because it's a long time. But don't think one single thought for 15 seconds. And I'll do it with you, right? Starting now. Don't think anything. How'd you do? How'd you do? If you're honest, you're going to say the thoughts were still coming to you. And that's what's always happening. Things are just coming and going. But what was aware of the thoughts that were coming and going? That's who you really are. The presence that's holding the space for the comings and goings. And the thoughts were coming and going, coming and going. You don't control that. The same with reality. It's coming and going, coming and going. You don't control that. That's right. It was hard because you're not controlling the stories. They're just coming and going. You are a receiver of the thoughts. You're simply receiving them. So that is a beautiful revelation, because that's the first step, is to notice that you're simply receiving them. The next step is to go, who's receiving them? Who's aware of these thoughts? What is the awareness like? Yeah, who's aware of the thoughts? They're coming and going to who though? And if you say to me, who's the me that you're referring to? It's going to be another thought. And you're aware of that too, right? That's self-inquiry. That's self-inquiry. And what this does is it puts you in touch with your truth outside of the stories. Because we tell stories to help us feel more grounded and safe in the fact that it's coming and going. And we know that it's coming and going. The same with our identity. We know that it's not fixed and solid. We know that deep down. But we tell stories because we want to believe that we are fixed and solid, and that we're not going to wither away. We want to believe that so bad. No, I'm not a local Malaysian. I'm from the US. No, I'm not a local Malaysian. But Malaysians' English their English is really amazing. I have not ran into one person that I have not been able to have a conversation with. Their English is amazing. Frankie, are you Malaysian? But yes, it's a cool realization to notice that we're constantly telling stories. And this is why manifestation is a thing, because what we're doing is that we are using the stories that we are telling to shape the infiniteness of the comings and the goings. This infinite coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. We can't control what comes and goes, which is what most people think. And that's why they get frustrated when things aren't changing. We can't control that. But what we can do is not even control, but like view the coming and going through a new lens and understand that the coming and going changes based off of the lens that we are viewing it through. It's like if you have on red glasses. When you have on red glasses or rose-colored glasses and you look out, everything is going to appear rose-colored because you're looking at it through the filter. It's not necessarily that the reality itself is rose-colored. It's just the filter that you are viewing it out of. So it's not about changing the reality. It's simply about changing the filter. You grew up 20, oh, nice. Are you still in Malaysia now, Frankie? And Tori, does my partner know? Yeah, he knows about it. I talked to him about it. He's definitely getting more into it. He's actually an amazing manifester, like conscious, because we're always manifesting, right? We're always, manifestation is just bringing the unseen into the scene. And we, as the observer, when we put our eyes on something, we are bringing the unseen into the scene, right? We're always manifesting. But it's about doing it consciously, deliberately, intentionally. And he's really good at it because he has no resistance, because he's not like making it mean something about him or like really dedicated. That's why this thing is beginner's luck, because there's like really no expectations. So I feel like he has so much beginner's luck because he's not like super into the community. He just will like say something, it'll happen. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, I'm the golden manifestation. It's like, dude, whatever. But he's not like super into all this like conscious manifestation stuff. Which part of the US are you from? LA? No, I am actually from the suburbs of Chicago. I just say Chicago, but yeah, I'm from Chicago. But I lived in Denver for about 5 years before we came to Malaysia. And we're going to be here until October. And then we're going to head to Thailand. And we're just going to hit up a few countries in Southeast Asia. We're not sure how long we're going to travel. We're just living our life. Having some enjoying our experience. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I don't have a whiteboard here. I need to get a bigger whiteboard, but when we get into a more long term place, then I'll be able to do that. I'm trying to figure out my style because I know that those videos are helpful. But then I'm also, if you've noticed, like moving away from only talking about manifestation, it just using manifestation as a vehicle to help individuals get comfortable with being fully seen and fully expressed, like creatives, because honestly those they tie together. Being fully seen and fully expressed is the same thing as like creating. Creativity and spirituality are like synonyms. They're the same exact thing. So the more that I help women get comfortable being fully expressed and fully seen and start to get paid from their talents, right? Start to bring the practicality to a lot of what I'm saying, then it makes so much more sense. I like to use creativity and like creating abundance as a vehicle to awakening. And it's interesting because a lot of people will separate those. Like, oh, if you how can you be spiritual and talk about money? They're still so caught up in a dogma that doesn't serve them. Hey, Sean. No, not LA, like La. Oh, no, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You know, I was watching a video about that before we got here. Yeah. To make our speak more chill. Like if I say come here, it's like I say, like I'm saying demand, but La makes it more casual. Like come here, La. That's cool. Okay, for sure. Yeah, you guys are so chill. Like that's one thing I can say is being here. Like we had went to a mall earlier. We were just driving and driving through. Like I feel like so first we were near KL, which is the capital city, and it's still chill, like super relaxed compared to the States. And I could feel myself having to like adjust to how relaxed it is because I feel like in the States we're always on go and it's about, you know, being productive and just being on go. So I was like, okay, I have to like slow down here. I have to be more relaxed. But being in Malacca, it's even more of a relaxed state. And as we were driving, that's why I said I was going through so many emotions because when we were on our way to the mall, I could just, my body just felt like it was just releasing like a, but with that, it was so much coming up. But then I could hear the stories around what that meant. And I had to just stay with the sensations and not go into, oh, this is my trauma, I'm purging, and I'm all of that can become a trap too. I don't play those games either. I just allow the sensations to be. Like I don't have to say, oh, this is happening because even though I will, right? It's poetic. We are meaning making creatures, us humans. We are storytellers. That is what we do. But it becomes a trap because then it's like, oh, I'm this way because of this, and now I gotta heal this, and now I gotta fix this. It's always about fixing something and healing ourselves. And can we just be? Can I just let the sensation be without me saying this is why? Because when I do that, then it comes and it goes. It's not all this fuss. It's not all this drama. You know, even though I love the drama, but I want the drama to be intentional. So like for me now, it's like can I funnel this drama to, you know, creativity? Can I funnel this drama into writing a fiction book? Can I funnel this drama into making really creative videos? Can I funnel this drama into poetry? And not allow this drama to manifest in really unconscious ways in my life, because that's what's been happening for so long, because I'm constantly in the stories around what it means and trying to like heal and all this. No, just be. I really want to travel to Asia too. I'm in my senior year in high school, so I don't have a job yet, but I hope the opportunity for me comes soon. Oh, nice. Yes. It would be nice to do that as soon as you get out. And it's so inexpensive too. Absolutely. The opportunity will come to you. Pray and believe you can do it. Yes, because we end up feeling like a project. We constantly feel like we need fixing. Exactly. And then that becomes, and that's why the industry is so like Billion-dollar industry. Healing and self-improvement. It's a billion-dollar industry because people think that they are finally going to reach a point where they feel complete. They feel done. They feel like they've made it. That's never going to come. That feeling of I made it, it just doesn't arrive. I was listening to, hold on, because I have to feed the little one. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. And let me put the camera up. That feeling just never goes well. I was listening to this video the other day, and this guy, a very wealthy man, was just talking about the tax inequality. And he was just saying that the difference between 5 million and 10 million does not bring you happiness. So it's interesting to him that, you know, the wealthiest of the wealthy isn't interested in paying more taxes, because what's the point of holding on to all the wealth, holding on to so much money when it actually doesn't make you happy. But that's the experience of people who become highly successful in their fields. They make a lot of money, and they don't have a center of understanding that it was never about the end goal. It was always about just the journey of doing it. Right? And it's such a cliche. It's like, enjoy the journey. It's not about the goal, enjoy the journey. But it's the truth. As long as you make the end goal, you know, this huge feat, you're going to be so disappointed when it comes. Because it's going to come and you're going to be happy and you're going to feel good. And then it's going to be like, okay, now what? Why is this feeling of not being enough back? Why is this feeling of self-doubt back? Why is this feeling of incompleteness back? I thought this was going to solve everything, yet this feeling is still here. What did I do wrong? It's like you didn't do, and that thought of what did I do wrong is the cause of suffering. That thought of why am I not happy yet is the cause of suffering. It's not the experience itself, it's the narration. So the more that you can see that the narration is simply like a leaf blowing in the wind, and you just observe it and it comes and goes, then you're free. That is freedom. Freedom does not lie in any goal. Freedom lies in noticing that all your experiences come and go, but you, as the I am, as awareness remains. Knowing the truth of who you are, it gives you an everlasting peace and joy because it is not dependent on anything. It is happiness without a cause. It is peace without reason. It is joy for being. And that costs nothing, and you already have access to it. It's just a strong attachment to a thought that says, but I'm not there yet. But it hasn't happened yet. That is why you suffer, not because of the experience. The experience on its own is complete, it's perfect, it's full. It is exactly what you want, actually. You've just convinced yourself that it's not. Well, actually, you haven't. Well, you have, but yeah. I'm even taking a pause from watching manifestation content so I could just be in the present moment. I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's great. Take a pause. Allow yourself to be. And when you come back to the content, you'll have a completely different perspective around it. And then you'll see that you're enjoying it simply because it's nice to hear about, you know, your power. And it's, you're not using the manifestation content to get or to become. You're just using it to like listen to yourself talk about how magnificent you are. And then you see that all content is talking about how magnificent you are, from the greatest content to the worst. That's the level of game that you play in when you stop being so identified with the narrative of your mind. Peace beyond human understanding, exactly. Oh, books, sorry, Tori. Yes, books, I would say Neville Goddard collection, start there. Anything Neville Goddard. And I also don't want to recommend too many books. Just choose one teacher. I'm Neville Goddard is always the guy that I'm always going to turn to. There's so many good books, but start there. Neville Goddard, Feeling is the Secret. Yeah. What if you desire to create, yes, fiction and poetry, but don't desire to be seen in the public? That's fine. You don't have to. Do you want to create and then have your work experienced by others, or do you simply want to create, or like, are you saying you want to create anonymously? Like you want to create, you just don't want your name attached to it, or you don't want to do like the marketing part. You don't want to have to deal with having to like post content to promote your work. Is that what you mean, Laura? Too much can raise my anxiety because then I start thinking, why isn't it here? Nice, nice. Yeah, I would just say like Neville's book is gold. Like honestly, I'm very biased. I feel like you don't need any other work. If you just read his books over and over again and like implement. That's the thing though that I feel like a lot of people they get in this trap of just over consumption. They're just consuming so much and never implementing anything because they're thinking that some word is going to be the magic, like the light bulb moment. And maybe you do have a light bulb moment. You hear something, you read something, and you have this light bulb moment. But without implementation, it cannot become an embodied truth. The implementation is what allows it to become wisdom. It goes from knowledge to wisdom. So you really don't even need that much information. All you need is like one good mentor, listen to their words, consistently implement, read, put it down, go implement. Once you come across some roadblocks, you read, you put it down, you go implement. But it's the implementation. It's not you listen to something, you feel good while listening to it, and then you don't feel good while you're not listening to it or while you're not reading it, and then you go, something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Just give yourself time to allow it to digest. Allow it to digest, and then allow it to become revealed to you. I love that, Tori. Nice, nice. So are most of you guys here from manifestation? Because yeah, I have definitely pivoted. Well, not pivoted, right? Because I'm multidimensional. I talk about so many things. As you can see, I love talking about manifestation, right? I love it. It's just one of the things. I just love talking about spirituality, but I also love the practicality. And for me, the practicality comes from being a creative, being abundant, right? Our birthright is to be abundant, is to be taken care of, and to be expressive, and to be fully seen. And fully seen does not mean that you have like this massive audience. If that's not what you want, this massive audience, it just means to fully see yourself beyond the filters. So that's where the direction of my content has been going. And like in business, I love business too. The practicality of spirituality. I feel like business is like self-sufficiency, is understanding that when you are tapping into what you love, that the universe is going to beautifully reward you, right? You're not relying on anybody to tell you how much you're about, how much your time is worth. And not saying that everybody should have a business and not, I'm not shaming 9-to-5s, but that is what I feel like wants to be expressed through this vessel. And that is how that is my passion in helping individuals do that. So that's why my content has been moving more away from only talking about manifestation and talking a lot more to creatives and artists to use the tools that I talk about to actually like get results, and not just like listen and sound good, but it's like, no, I want you guys to have results, right? Real life results. I want to post to the public, but do it mostly stay unseen. I'm sorry. Mwendy. The ego is always needing to be convinced. That's why we keep on reading. Yeah, it is. It is. It's like not very trusting, right? It's always like, but is this true? But is this true? Because it's all about knowledge. It needs more and more information. I want to post to the public, but do it mostly stay unseen. Okay, yeah, for sure. So, I mean, there's definitely platforms you can do that. Have you tried Substack? Substack is a great platform where you don't have to like post your face, or you don't have to use your real name. You can just put your writings out to the world and allow them to digest it in that way. I would say Substack is a great platform for that. Pinterest is a great platform for that. Tumblr is a great platform for that. And you can also just create faceless accounts and just allow your words to be the vehicle to get people invested in you. So yeah, but when you say unseen, I don't think you mean unseen. or I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but to say you want to be unseen is like you don't want your words to actually be consumed. Because if you're unseen, that means nobody's like reading, right? So you definitely want them to be seen. And I would say that your writing is a manifestation of someone who wants to read your words, because this is all a co-creation. So like there are people out there who are wanting to read your writing in a way that only you can deliver it, right? Only you, with your unique perspective, with your life experience, the way that you write. There are people out there that want to consume your writing, right? They are waiting to read it. It's just like making yourself available for them by putting yourself out there. And that can be scary, which is what the fully seen codes, the codes that I have created is all about, is learning how to be expressed and allow yourself to move through the discomfort of, you know, being consumed, being digested, people interacting with your work, and being able to like stand in that discomfort. And that goes into knowing the truth of who you are, and also regulating the nervous system. What if my blocks are people I want to post a certain type of content, but my family doesn't support? That's okay. That's okay. Is your family not supporting a actual block? Like they say if you post, I'm going to take your technology, I'm going to take your computer or your camera or your phone? Or is it more so a mental block, not wanting to be abandoned or rejected? Because we can work with that. We can work with that by learning how to sit with the feeling of abandonment, and learning how to sit with the rejection, and learning how to sit with the stories that come along with it, and just breathing through it, remaining as the I am, remaining as the observer, so that not so the stories can go away, but so that you can show up even while the stories are there. Teaching yourself to show up even while the stories are there. So been following for a minute. Love the way you explain things, easy to digest. Yes, I love that. I read enough books, watched enough videos. I'm in a space of overcoming fear of anxiety of being seen and actually applying the knowledge. Yes, that makes me so excited. Y'all don't understand. Like when we apply, when we start to get practical with these things, we see the change, and that makes us so much motivated to like keep doing this work, and it makes the content so much more fun to consume. I love people that make content about manifestation. I love all content creators, but I don't like when people are just consuming and not implementing. So it's like we have all these creators, and like, people are just watching, and doing nothing about it. And it's like, can we make this more practical? How do we make this more practical, right? And that is why I'm like, I want to create resources. I want to create, transformations for people, because I don't just want it to be, oh, you listen, and then you listen some more, and you listen some more, and then you go throughout your daily life, and triggers are, you get triggered, and then you respond to that trigger like you normally do, right? I'm just a beginner on Substack, so what word should I use other than unseen? I would say, let me sit with that. Because you don't want to be unseen. What you want to be is private, right? You want to be able to share your work without being the face of your work. You want to be, I wouldn't say intentional, because people who show their face, they're also intentional. I think maybe, I'm sure there's better words. Chat, what y'all got? What y'all got for the words of, because Laura doesn't want to be unseen. She wants her work to be consumed, right? She wants readers to be able to connect with her work. So she wants it to be seen, but she just doesn't want to be like the face of the brand and have to constantly like be on, right? And that's not everybody's mission. It's definitely not like my partner's mission. He has his business right now. He's on Etsy. And like, so many people, they say, well, you have to create content in order to, be able to sell your product. But everybody, oh, it's okay. But everybody doesn't want to do that. So my boyfriend's like, well, how do I do this? And he just found workarounds around it, but he still wants to be seen. He just I don't know what's the word, anonymous. Yeah, anonymous, private, posting content, but I'm afraid of people I know around me seeing it and judging. Absolutely. Everyone is your. Who is your favorite content creator to watch other than yourself? Oh, hold on. I'm just a beginner. Oh, we already read that. When did you find out what you want to do? Okay, let me start there and then I'll go down. When did I find out what I wanted to do? I would say maybe when I was in college and I was like, so when I was in college, I thought I wanted to be a doctor. I love science. I love science. So I was like, oh, I want to be a doctor. Then I was like, oh, I want to be I want to be like a neuroscientist because I love the brain. I love learning about, like, for me, I really just love consciousness. I really wanted to understand like consciousness. I was so curious, like really, really curious. So I was in school, I was taking like all these classes, and at the same time I was also growing in my spiritual journey. So then I realized that like science was actually the explanation of like the unknown. It's just trying to understand our world, which is extremely unknowable, and like science gets close but they still don't even know, right? They make guess hypothesis, right, theories, but it's never like this is the facts. Like that's not what science is. It's a hypothesis. It's like a maybe. So from there, I realized that in my spiritual journey, I realized that what I really wanted to do was save the world. I remember I told this guy that we were like studying. I was like a freshman in college, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. And I said, I just want to save the world. And he's like, okay, but you can't just save the world. And I got so offended. I was like, what do you mean I can't just save the world? I want to save the world. He's like, you can't just save the world. You have to have like save the world by doing what? So then from there, I was like on a mission to figure out how do I save the world, only to find out that the world doesn't need saving, right? The world doesn't need me to save it. The world needs saving from me. And what all that means is it needs saving from my projected beliefs that something is wrong with it. So when I realized that, and I sat with the perfection of what is, which is extremely uncomfortable. It does not mean that I'm sitting in bliss and happiness. It means sitting with the discomfort of change. From there, I realized that I wanted to show others how to do the same and to use that to like create. And then from there, like life experience just brought me to another path. At first, I talked about like manifestation. Then I talked about like non-duality. And then I realized that the way to make this very practical, hopefully you guys can see my boobs because I'm feeding. But the way to make this very practical is to like help individuals use this to create what I feel like we were here to do, right? So yeah, long story short, who's your favorite creator? My favorite creator, who is my favorite creator? Who do I watch a lot? Who do I watch a lot of? Dan Cole. I love Dan Cole. He's definitely one of my favorite creators. Because I just love, like, he talks about spirituality, business, self-development in a very, I would say, like, very nuanced way. I love Dan Cole. What other creators do I watch? Who do I watch a lot of? I'm trying to think because I watch so many people. I don't know. I can't think right off the top of my head, but I would say definitely Dan Cole. I'm trying to think of women who I watch a lot of. Oh, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now, but yeah, I don't know why I'm blanking on her name. Y'all gonna have to give me time. give me some time. I'll come back with it. But yeah, I love her. It's this woman. Her name is Shoshana Raven. I love her. She talks about like feminine business, like, and she talks about like quantum nonsense, and she is an amazing creator. It's this other woman. Her name is Shayna Raskin. Love her. She talks a lot about embodiment. She has this method. It's actually called Body Talk, which has transformed my entire life, and it's informed a lot of my teachings around helping creators move past their fear of like rejection or not, or this fear of being seen, or this fear of being, abandoned, right? Learning the language of the body. Her work has helped me out a lot with that. So Shayna Raskin, Shoshana Raven, Dan Cole, Neuro Knowledge. I love Neuro Knowledge. Absolutely love Neuro Knowledge. Frank Yang. Frank Yang is another amazing creator. He talks about non-dualism, Advaita Vedanta, but in a very modern way. And his videos are like art. literally art. Like his content is inspiration. So yeah, those are definitely some of my favorite creators. And posting content, but I'm afraid of people knowing around me, seeing it and judging it. Yeah, it's just learning how, the same that I said to Frankie, is learning how to sit with that fear of judgment and sitting with that fear of, okay, like worst case scenario. Let's say people see it and they judge it harshly. What feeling comes up in the body? And like, what the shout out fully seen codes is live. It's a course that I have. It's $97. It will be $97 for 1 week. I should have had the link somewhere so you guys can just get at it. But it's live right now, and what it does is it takes you through, like, it gives you the direct codes to like get over this, and it also gives you practices to teach your body how to learn how to sit with this discomfort. But yeah, just creating a scenario, worst case scenario, right? Imagining this worst case scenario and then allowing yourself to sit with it and teaching your body how to expand. Because usually what happens is like a trigger appears, right? A trigger appears of somebody says something to us about our creativity, or we show them something and we don't get the response that we want. And then it triggers something. And it triggers a very uncomfortable response. And if we don't know how to sit with that discomfort, we will go into a very usual pattern. And Samaya, I'm almost done, baby. Those usual patterns will be either fight, flight, or run, right? Or fawn, right? We have ways of responding to stress and to anxiety, and we go into those patterns. So what I want you guys to start doing, and how you start doing, is just like placing yourself in those very real environments, and like safely, incrementally, and teaching yourself how to breathe in the discomfort. It's deeper than breathing, right? Breathe, move the body. Just learn how to expand and like stay grounded instead of going into your usual trigger. And the more you do that, you teach your brain a new way of responding to the trigger. So now when somebody says something, when you show them a piece of your work, or you talk about starting that business or starting that new social media or whatever, and somebody says, "Who do you think you are?" or "You can't do that." It's because some people are already doing that. Instead of and then when the response is, "Oh, like, oh, I'm not good enough," or "Oh, I'm not cut out for this," or "Oh, they're right." When that shows up, because it still will, instead of automatically believing that and then going into your usual response, you taught yourself how to sit with that discomfort of maybe they're right and still moving towards what you want. Because what you're doing is you're creating space. You're learning how to expand, right? And I'm gonna, Samaya, please, I'm gonna have a masterclass. I'm gonna host a masterclass in a few days where we're gonna go through this in real time, right? I want you guys to experience this in real time. So we'll go through these practices in real time in a few days, but it's also inside of my course, Fully Seen Codes, $97 right now. Amazing. It's amazing codes, I'm telling you. I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, lovely. When I felt down, your videos were a source of positivity for me and helped me see that even the strongest of emotions are a state. I love it. I love it. Yes. Private. Okay. What are some of the practices that help you know that you are the observer and also stay in the present moment? Farouk, my favorite creator, is not Ken from Clash Royale. Okay? So, please. Some practices that help me know that I am the observer is to go to my breath. So when discomfort is arising, I'm gonna put the phone down. So when discomfort is arising, some practices that help me is to go to the breath, because the breath is stable. I'm not making myself breathe. Like it goes unnoticed so often because we like, why do we need to notice it? We know that it's just there, right? It's always there. So it is an amazing anchor. So if there's like so much going on, I'm really attached to the narratives in my mind, or the emotions in my body are like, they have a strong pull on my awareness. I remember that there's a part of me that is stable and that is always available, and it's the breath. So I'll go to the breath. And with the breath, I notice that I'm aware of the breath. So then let's go, oh, I'm aware of the breath. What is it that's aware? Who is it that's aware? And then that question is like a pattern interruption. Because usually I'm so caught up in a narrative, or I'm so caught up in a sensation, that to ask that question, who is it that's aware, it's a pattern interrupt. So now my attention goes away from my thoughts and my sensation, and it turns towards the observer. Because it's like, who is it that's aware? And now all of a sudden my attention like looks for that. It's like, well, who is it? Who is it, right? It's like looking for it. And even for a brief moment, it's like this, it's so brief that it's like it'll go undetected, but it creates a lot of space. And the more you do that, you start to, again, train yourself. You train the brain. I love the brain. You like, so when the neuron gets activated of trigger is present, there's something happening in your environment, even if it's just your attention turning towards what moves. And usually it's for you to get like deeply involved with it, that those triggers, like neurons that fire together, wire together. So those neurons are just firing together all the time. So you're unconsciously identifying with your perceptions, your sensations, your thoughts. Now, all of a sudden, when you are asking this question, because you're grounding yourself by first going to the breath and then noticing that you are aware of the breath. And then you say, well, who is it that's aware of the breath? That question, when you consistently ask that, now you're igniting a new neuron to turn inward. So now those neurons start firing together, and then neurons that fire together, wire together, that connection gets much stronger. And when that connection gets much stronger, it will then become unconscious. That's all it is. You're just teaching your brain a new way to communicate. Practically, right? I love to talk about this from a practical level, because practically that's what's happening. You're teaching yourself it's a skill. You're teaching yourself a new skill, like driving. When you first learn to drive, I don't know about y'all, but I was like a super cautious driver, right? 2 hands on the steering wheel, super like, ugh. And then eventually I did it so often that it became normal, because those neurons started firing together. That connection got strong to where it became normal. It became an identity. I am a driver. So now I can drive and do a million things. I shouldn't, but I can. It's not safe, but I can. And with that, it's the identity. It's the same thing with turning your attention towards what's aware instead of always having your attention on what you are aware of. It's just a skill that you'll learn the more you do it. And then eventually it just happens. You just notice that you're not so caught up with the stories anymore. You see the stories as not you. The stories are simply passing in you as the observer. You are the observer. And it's not just the knowledge. The thoughts will say, I am the observer, but even that is seen by you, and you don't have to keep turning your attention towards it. But you still do in practice to develop the skill. Especially, I would say you keep doing it, because for many of you, I know I have someone as young as, I would say, at least 17 if you're a senior in high school, right? You've been yourself for 17 plus years. You've been operating as a separate individual, believing your thoughts as you, turning your attention towards what moves, your perception, your sensations, to your 5 senses. You've been taught to do that for a really long time. So to go from that to now go to resting as the observer, that's going to take practice. You've been doing something for 15 plus years, right? Because we start when we're around like 18 months, 2 years old. Yeah. Do you believe we should delete our family and friends that will judge us off our social media? I would say yes. Yes, absolutely. I would say yes if it becomes too much of a hindrance for you to post. But I would say no if you want to learn how to just be with the discomfort. Because to keep your family and friends on your account, it's going to teach you how to deal with the discomfort. But if it's so much of a hindrance that it's preventing you from posting at all, I would say delete them. Let them be gone until you work up that muscle of learning how to sit in the discomfort of being judged and criticized. But once you learn how to sit with judgment and like criticism, then absolutely keep them. And if you want to speed the process up, then I would say keep them on there and like post and let yourself be raw and vulnerable and naked, and trust that the true you is simply observing that, right? Your home is so big, you have 2 kitchen tables. Rich from YouTube, blah, or what? No. Dance is good. No. Rich in spirit for sure. Rich in bank account for sure too. Okay, actually let me claim it, but no, not rich from YouTube. I mean, in Malaysian currency, yes, right? Because U.S. currency. So for 1 ringgit, which is what Malaysian currency is, it's like the equivalent of $4 US. So when things are like 30 ringgit, right? Or let me, like 36 ringgit, 36 divided by 4. I don't know why I'm not mathing right now. It's 6? What's 6 times 4? Babe, what's 6 times 4? 36? 24. 6 times 4 is 24, right?
Yes,
Okay, I don't know why I said 36. So 6 times 4 is 24. Um, so something that's 24 ringgits is like $6, 6 US dollars. So the US dollar stretches a lot here. So we have a 3-bedroom home right now that we're staying in for 2 months, and it was 900 US dollars, which is insane because we were paying 1,200 US dollars. We were paying 1,400, including our utilities and everything, US dollars for a 1-bedroom shitty apartment in Denver, Colorado. And for 900 US dollars, we have a 3-bedroom condo. It's like an apartment, but it's 3 bedrooms. It has a washer. It has a kitchen, beautiful living room, dining room. It has a beautiful pool. 900 US dollars. So the money just stretches much more here. No, the gym is not beautiful. The gym is pretty crappy. But the place we were staying in before, it was like skyrise, level 36, beautiful view. It had a nice gym, pool. It had all these beautiful amenities. $700 a month. But it was 1 bedroom, and we have a baby, so we needed more space. So we were like, okay, we need more space. We got to find something with more room. So yeah. But YouTube is decent. I would say my YouTube, videos don't get crazy views, but I would say that consistently I bring in between like 150 and 250. If I have like, if a video goes like viral, which for me, the most views I've gotten on a video is around like 60 something thousand, and I made like $500 to $600. And at one point I was bringing in like $400 to $500 a month from YouTube. But now my videos, my numbers aren't as big, but I still get to still get paid from your content is beautiful, right? So I still get paid between like $150 to $200 a month from YouTube, which I think is cool. But most of my revenue, it comes from my coaching business. So I offer services, and which is just like me doing one-on-ones, packages for people. And I also have digital products. I have products as low as $6. And then my newest course that I just released is $97 right now, but then it's going to be $150. And the beautiful part about that is that it's evergreen and that it can run without me, right? Because having a business like one-on-one service is cool. But the thing is that you still selling a lot of your time for money. So, I was doing, like, at one point, I was doing 4 months of coaching for $1,500, which at first I was like, yeah, because I had my highest cash month. I had made like $7,000 in 1 month. And I was like, yes. But I was 4 months of coaching for $1,500. Like, that's a lot of time. And when you look at it hourly, it's not a lot of money. So I was like, okay, I got to find a new model to work for me so I can help. I still want to help people, but I don't want to attach my time to it. And that's when I was like, oh, I should create a course. So I packaged up everything that I was talking about with my clients into a course. And then also I have the group membership, which is $27 a month. Also, I wanted to make it more so accessible because now my coaching is $3,500 for 3 months. So to make it more accessible to individuals, they can still get like what I would teach with my clients. I'm just not there to like talk to them to their individual problems, but it's the same information. It's literally the same thing that I go through with my clients. So that's how I make my money now. And now, full transparency, and I'm also gonna make a video about this, but full transparency, now with my business, I've been averaging like $1,500 to $2,000 a month in my business from my coaching. And my goal is to go to 20K months. So that's where I am right now. Full transparency. So how did you manifest abundance? What were your daily thoughts? When I want to buy something but I don't have enough money for it now, it kind of triggers me into the old mindset. I would say, also thank you, C Brown. You say you watched that video. Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all. I went into a tangent. I wasn't looking at the comments. I'm coming back to the comments. I'm coming back, and then I gotta go because it's almost time for baby girl bedtime. We need to eat dinner and get ready for bed. But how do you manifest abundance? To be, right? To be, do, have. To feel as if you are abundant now. And to just notice any thoughts of not being abundant. And then to allow the fear of like, what does scarcity or not having enough fuel like in the body. And what I like to use is the Beyond Self ritual. It's a ritual that I created combined with a lot of Shayna Raskins, one of my favorite creators, her methods. And it's just about learning the language of the body. So Beyond is an acronym. So one time I had a situation, and I shared about this in a video surrounding money, where I was like, I'm claiming abundance, right? I'm abundant now. And then, I'm looking at my bank account and it's not reflecting that abundance. So I go into a spiral. I go into, I'm lying to myself. I'm lying to myself. So what I realized is that it's just the body's reaction of being in scarcity. My body has a very familiar reaction to not having enough because of situations that I went through. The story is not important. What's important is that the trigger is there. Like, I noticed that when I feel like I don't have enough, my body responds in a way where it's like high anxiety, high stress, right? Really like fast beating heart. I start sweating, right? My breathing is what's the word I'm looking for when your breathing is like shallow, like shallow breathing. So I'm like hyperventilation, and it's like it happens, and I could be in public and this will happen, right? And I notice the signs in my body, right? My body temperature gets warmer. So this is how my body responds to not having enough. So even if I'm telling myself I'm abundant, it's not a full embodied truth because my body is not responding from abundance, which means that I'm not going to see the opportunities of abundance. Because when my body is in that state of being triggered and responding in that way, the only thing I'm trying to do is make sure that I survive. And we don't tend to be very creative in survival. We tend to just go to what we know in survival, right? So usually I'll just go to what I know. And if we keep doing what we've been doing, we just go keep getting the same results that we've been getting. So what it's about is learning how to expand and not go into a familiar pattern when we learn our body's code, when we learn the body's language. So when that happened, when I said I'm abundant, and then I looked at my bank account, and my bank account did not reflect abundance, and I noticed the triggers of, my heart is beating fast, my breathing is shallow, my body temperature is warm, right? I'm starting to sweat. This is the familiar pattern. And usually to regulate myself, what I would usually do is go into some survival. How can I get money now? I should do this, right? Instead, I'm going to go beyond, which is the Beyond Self ritual, which is breathe. It's an acronym for breathe. Just do 3 deep belly inhales and exhales. Examine. Simply examine the thoughts. Examine my emotions so I can get familiar with this trigger when it shows up again. Examine what the trigger was, the bank account. Just examine. No judgment. Yield, which means I yield to the sensation, right? I just stop and allow this, just be with the sensation and don't change it and don't go into what it, I'm like this because, I was homeless as a kid, and that's not relevant. like what's relevant is just for me to sit with the sensation and teach myself that I can feel this, that it's safe for me to feel this, that I don't have to run from this anymore. I don't have to try to fix it. I can just be. So I yield to it. I just stop, and then I exaggerate it, right? Can I really allow my heart to beat even faster? Can I make my breath even more shallow? Can I warm my body temperature up even more? Can I really be in this feeling? And if my body is like this because I'm afraid, can I really be afraid and make my body go like this? I exaggerate the sensation to teach myself that it's safe for me to feel this. It's safe for me to feel this, right? And then I simply observe. I open and observe. Now that I exaggerated the sensation, I open. I relax my jaw. I relax my forehead. And I don't try to change the sensation, though. I'm just opening around the sensation. I'm teaching myself how to feel it, right? That's all the beyond is. Teaching yourself how to feel it. Then I nurture myself. The end is for nurture. I'll tap. I'll rock. If I'm really angry, I'll scream, I'll punch something. I'm just nurturing myself. I'm allowing myself to just express the sensation in a safe environment. And then my favorite part is I drop into the desired reality. So what's the desire? If the desire is for abundance, then I allow myself to, what does abundance feel like in the body? Because now I'm not bypassing the fact that I told myself I'm abundant, but then my body is telling me no. I allow myself to feel it, so now I can drop into the desire without the bypassing, without the stuffing it away. Because stuffing it away is just going to have the unconscious, manifesting in very unconscious ways. So what I do is I drop into the desire. And then what would it feel like if I was there? And can I hold the anxiety of not having enough while also holding my desire? In that, I create space. So then what did I do? I taught my brain a new way to respond to this trigger. And then every time it shows up, I just teach myself a new way to respond until those neurons start firing together and the connection gets stronger, and then it becomes my identity, and then it becomes my reality. And it doesn't mean the trigger no longer shows up. It just means that when the trigger shows up, I just choose a different path, right? It doesn't. The trigger is like, I still deal with so much scarcity. I still deal with self-doubt. I still deal with like not being confident and not feeling like enough. But I move because I taught myself that before, when the trigger would come up, I had a very familiar way of, when this trigger is present, I'm going to go hide. I'm going to go try to figure it out. I got to heal myself. I got to fix myself. Now, I taught myself when the trigger is present, I know how to sit with this. I know how to expand. I'm going to still do the thing. I'm still going to post. I'm still going to, show up for myself. I'm still going to offer. I'm still going to sell. I'm still going to market. I'm still going to love. I'm still going to spend. I'm still going to act like I have it now, because I know how to hold the discomfort, okay? So let me go to these comments real quick, and then I am going to bounce. I watched the video. Oh, yeah, you said that. NLP explained practically. Oh, really? Nice, yes. I love learning how the brain works, and it lets you know that you aren't your thoughts, that you can always create new thoughts, which leads to a new reality. Exactly. I will be honest to say part of the struggle is I have learned so much about non-duality, and it makes sense. It's just as far as the surface goes, I'm still dealing with yeah, and that's okay. And like, can you allow the residuals of the old you to not be a problem? Because for me, that was my trap in non-duality for so long. I'm like, I'm still so attached to the separate self. I'm still seeing separation. I'm still believing in the identity. And then that kept me in this spiral. Now it's like, that still exists. like earlier in the mall, I had a transaction come out where I did not have the funds for it. Transparency again. Like it was not an expense that I wanted to pay. And the familiar feelings of scarcity, not having enough came up. And then my thought went, oh, I'm not in a state of abundance because look how I'm reacting. But I'm the observer. I am not these thoughts. And that thought is not a problem. That thought came, I had a response. My response is not a problem. Before, I'll be like, oh, I can't respond because if I react this way, that means that I'm not in my ideal reality, and I'm not. That's another story that's keeping me in this cycle. Can I just observe the story and say that's not a problem either? Because what that does is it allows us to just come and go, and the intelligence to self-correct. There's an intelligence that beats our heart, that digests our food, that is responsible for us breathing, that grows our hair, that makes our fingernails grow. Do I not believe that this intelligence will take care of me and make sure that I'm okay? The intellectual, logical mind will tell me that. But the truth, when I can just rest and say, this thought is not a problem. My reaction is not a problem. None of this is a problem. Can I just be with that? Even if it's uncomfortable, and that's from teaching myself how to sit with discomfort. Can I just be with that? And with that, things work itself out. They always work themselves out. Okay? So thank you, Tori. Thank you, C. That's all I have for you guys. This has been an amazing live. I love just doing it this style. It feels less like, ooh, I am a, instructor. It feels more so like I'm just chilling and talking to you guys. So this was cool. I'm definitely going to be doing these lives more often. So I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a great morning if you are in, morning time, and have a great evening if you are Sunday night like I am. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.